Good morning. Welcome to the Carla Marie and Anthony Show. As you can see, I am still rocking my Champions of Change jersey. I did take it off after the game, but put it back on. Yes, Carla Marie.
You almost did not, though.
Okay, so it was a long day. Okay, and thank you, Miguel from Miami, for the 1,000 bits. That pushes us over the hype train level 5. So Carla Marie is going to start shaking up some shots. And we got home from the for the Champions of Change celebrity basketball game. And it was a pretty long day. And even though I did not actually play, I will say I was pretty damn tired because I was walking around that entire arena on one leg, just hobbling back and forth. It took some energy out of me. But anyway, I got home and I had the jersey on. And I decided, you know what, I was going to change. I changed my shorts and everything, changed my socks, went to bed.
No, you didn't even. I was in bed, and I was like, and I see Anthony walking into the room, and I go,
yeah.
Or you're not wearing that to bed. He's like, what? I didn't play.
I didn't play. It's just a T-shirt at that point.
I said, sir, you have been around high-fiving and hugging 50 sweaty people.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, I can't go walk down there. So I had to go get him his nighttime shirt.
But yeah. And normally, so before I lived here, I almost never slept with a shirt on. I would just wear shorts and go to bed. But the problem that I run into now is Max, my favorite cat in the whole wide world. She prefers when I sleep with a shirt on because she lays on me.
She doesn't like the fur-to-fur contact.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of it. She'll deal with it.
But thank you, Made by Erica. Outside clothes in bed. If I am wearing anything that has been outside this house other than like our own property,
yeah,
I change it before bed.
Well, you still have your hair on your head, and the hair probably collects more than anything else.
That's why, like, if I do anything at the gym that involves my head being on the ground, I wash my hair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know what to tell you guys, but that was what I was gonna do. But yeah, this is the jersey they gave us. It was a really, really cool event to be a part of. And I guess we can, if for people who didn't get to be here in Seattle to watch it, we didn't know ahead of time there was going to be a live stream.
We didn't know there was a live stream until like Jen and Lisa told us there was a live stream.
Obviously, had we known, we would have tried to get Carla Marie to be the host of it, or we would have at least told everyone if you wanted to watch it, you could, because it was actually a pretty fun game to watch as well. It wasn't.
It was cool.
It was a full basketball game. I mean, there were 10-minute quarters instead of 15-minute quarters.
Oh, that's why it was going so fast.
Yeah, but we do have, I think,
Jess from Minnesota let Jen and Lisa know on Discord that there was a link.
There we go. And that's why the Discord community is so awesome. Here, I think we have, no, that's not it. Where is it?
Right there.
There it is. Okay. So this should work. You should be able to hear it.
Is it on the screen now?
It is on the screen. So this is Gary Payton's introduction.
Gary Payton.
You know what? Hold on. Let me pause this real quick.
Very low, Becky said.
Okay,
I'll turn we paused it.
Let's.
So right now, if you're looking at the screen, you see Bowie. That's the blue-haired mascot. My seats were like kind of right in front of where he is. Not on the court, right behind that row.
There we go.
Crank it a little bit.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I got to do one thing because this is bothering me.
Fred the Mailman checking in from Venice. Fred the Mailman gave a "You Look Great" shirt to his tattoo artist in Rome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, we're going to have to deal with the screen being a little off-center there. And I'll crank the volume up a little bit. Put that up. All right, here we go.
Hear it one more time for Team Bird Payton.
He's the glove. That's what they call him.
I needed a cool name to be. That was your team, right? No, you weren't.
No. Just wait.
Duh.
So Gary Payton and Stu Bird were just introduced.
Let's meet Team Lloyd Lynch.
It's my team.
Up first, he's on injured reserve today, but showing up to rep his squad, host of Carla Marie and Anthony on Twitch, as well as the Morning Show podcast. Show some love for Worst Anthony.
Oh, man.
A familiar face and voice.
They said my name
Pacific
technically before
Northwest
yours.
Member of the match day broadcast for your Sounders FC. A proud
Yay, Michelle.
Washington Coug out of Washington State University, Michelle Lutka.
Michelle was awesome.
Oh, they had like a montage of clips of her.
Well, because she played last year. All right, back to
This dude.
I realized.
Crip walk, Fred the Mailman said.
I realized almost, I guess, 2 minutes before they introduced me. Because they told me I was going to go first, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
And I didn't know this. Oh, thank God I knew you were coming out of the tunnel. Madeline, who I work with at Seahawks, was there filming everything because it was a lot of, it was all Seahawks stuff. And she's looking at me going, Anthony, I'm like, he's first? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
So
it's chaos.
I thought that was pretty cool. And it made sense because it was to take me longest to get out there.
I thought you were going to get trampled.
But I realized as everyone was lining up, I start hearing the crowd go nuts. And they went from Sue Bird, obviously legend, WNBA legend in general, but Seattle legend specifically. Then Gary Payton, Seattle legend again. And then me. I turned around to Michelle, and I had pure panic on my face. Because I had realized they were going from two of the biggest sports legends. The only other person they could have put in there would have been Marshawn Lynch to make it even worse. Which he didn't show up, apparently. He was supposed to be my coach. And he didn't show up. But Jewel Lloyd was awesome. She was my coach.
She's so cool.
She was very cool. I let her know in the very beginning of the game that even though I was injured, I was willing to get in there and knock somebody out. She needed like an enforcer.
They were going to put you in at one point, I thought.
Well, Richard Sherman... And it was really cool. I did get to meet Sue Bird and Martha, very briefly. She was walking down the tunnel. I introduced myself, and that was about it. But at halftime, I think the other team was up by 2 or 3 points, whatever it was. And I was walking back out to the court, and Richard Sherman was walking ahead of me, so he held the door open. And as I hobbled past him, he said, listen, if you want to get in there, they'll put you in, but no one's going to take it easy on you. And I said, Sherm, because we were best friends, I said, Sherm, if we're up by like 15 at some point, I'll go in for a second and chuck a 3, but that's about it.
Chuck a 3.
Yeah. What? I'm not going to get down in the paint.
Well, I went on the court before the game, shot a air ball, and then got smashed in the face with a basketball, so I left the court.
But it was a really, really cool event.
Dangerous.
I was just excited to be a part of it, honestly. And I let everyone know that my rehab is going to be targeted and focused on being back for that game and dunking on Doug Baldwin's head.
Oh, why Doug?
I don't know.
What if
He's
you're on his team?
one of the shorter people there.
What if you're on his team next year?
Well, then I can't dunk on his head. Although, I will say, there was like a lull during warm-ups. Because everyone's out there shooting. There's a bunch of camera people out there. Friends and family are all out on the court during warm-ups. And I just figured, you know what? This is possibly the only time I'm going to get to really shoot some shots on a professional court. So I shot some threes, made some threes, which was fun. Shot some free throws, and I was going to get my own rebound because normally there were kids at the baseline and they were throwing back the ball for rebounds, but they weren't there at that point. So I'm under the basket, and all of a sudden I feel this presence like over me, huge shadow over me, and I look up and Richard Sherman is dunking. But he chose the moment that I was under the basket to dunk on me. And I turned around and said, Sherm, did you really just dunk on the only handicapped person on this court? He clearly didn't realize that I was there, but he started cracking up and said, you know what? I'm just going to have my guy edit that in post, and I'm going to make it look like you have a real leg. And that was it. But it was really fun. And it was actually fun getting to see a lot of the players, out of their sports element when they have to take everything super seriously. And just kick back and have a good time. I mean, they were all messing around with each other. My team was fortunate enough to have Jamal Crawford and Isaiah Thomas. Well,
when Anthony was on the bench, he was sitting next to Cliff Averill.
Yeah. Yep. I sat next to a bunch of different people.
It was cool. But we'll share the link at the end of our stream because you can go back and watch it. In the first 40 minutes, it's Anthony roaming around the court.
Yeah. Yep. Just chucking some threes. All right, let's take the shot, and we will move on.
We are drinking Daiquiri Timeout this week, a DTO. It's got white rum, lime juice, grapefruit juice, and maraschino.
Like the cherries?
Yeah.
Sweet.
No, he took
and
the
I
peg
did,
leg off.
Yeah, when I sat on the bench, because when I originally sat down, I had the peg leg still attached, and you guys have seen how it like sticks out. But I realized it was a little too close to the court, and the last thing I wanted someone to do was trip over it or run into it or be impaled by it or something. So during each quarter, it was behind the bench, behind my chair. Cheers to you, Carla Marie.
Cheers to Seattle Cocktail Club for this lovely shooter.
Oh, I got to put the You Look Great logo out there. There we go. Woo! That's pretty good. That would be a good cocktail, which I'm sure it normally is.
It was like so cold on my teeth.
Yeah, it was very cold.
Ooh.
Audi Swan, did everyone else get playing time? Yes. Everyone got to play a little bit, regardless of how good or bad they were. Everybody was out there. Michelle, who you saw come in right after me, was able to get herself 2 rebounds, almost made a shot, almost made 2 shots, actually. But when the game was on the line, because it was a very close game, it went into overtime. When the game was on the line, it was all professional athletes, mostly basketball players, too. And then the 3 game coordinators, or the people who were behind it, Cliff, Doug, and Michael Bennett.
It was just wild. I think I have a video of you, because at one point before the game started, we went to go get drinks because we were on the floor. You have to like take the elevator up and go to the next floor. And I got a video of you from up there,
that's cool.
on the court.
I mean, I will say, even though I made the joke about dunking on Doug Baldwin's head, all 3 of those guys were so unbelievably nice. I didn't really get to see Michael Bennett as much because he was on the other team.
Yeah.
But his brother, Martellus Bennett, was essentially our de facto head coach because Marshawn Lynch wasn't there. He was the gigantic man in the green sweater with the bell-bottom pants.
I was like, you guys mean to tell me that's not Samuel L. Jackson?
That guy?
With the glasses?
Oh, he did actually
glasses.
have
Samuel
L. Jackson glasses on. You're right. But he was, I mean, the Bennett brothers, when you see them up close,
he is clearly
they are giants.
So tall.
And they wear Doc Martens.
I know.
So they're even bigger than they normally are. But Doug was super nice and came up to everybody and thanked them for their time and thanked them for being there.
Yeah.
Cliff was on my team, and we actually very briefly worked with Cliff at iHeartRadio. So we kind of knew him, and you've worked with him with the Seahawks now. But all 3 of those guys, every single player, honestly, was so kind.
Yeah, it was
like
cool.
Isaiah Thomas was in the locker room at halftime. Just I don't know who got him going, but he started sharing stories about the NBA, about his like first NBA moment and how his first game was against Kobe.
Oh my God.
Then then they started like Jamal Crawford was in our everyone was in the same locker room, men and women, or men were in one, women were in the other.
Oh, got it.
And so like players on the other team were still in our locker room, and all the NBA players started sharing stories and like
that's so wild.
Kobe specific stories.
That's
Apparently, cool. Kobe doesn't talk to people or didn't talk to people in the NBA for a long time. Like Isaiah Thomas said that his first 3 years, Kobe never said it. Or by year 3, Kobe started talking to him and acknowledging him. And then Jamal Crawford chimed in.
On the same team.
No. Oh. But then Jamal Crawford chimed in and said, "Oh, well, it took me 7 years for Kobe to talk to me." That was like his thing.
His
like
tactic.
he needed to know that you were for real.
That's crazy.
Before he spent time. And then someone had asked, "Well, what if you saw each other in public?" And every NBA player, because there were a bunch, just cracked up laughing. They're like, "You don't see Kobe. He's like Bruce Wayne and Batman. You just never see him out. He doesn't go out. He doesn't go to parties, or didn't go to parties." But it was cool being in that moment, and they were all super kind. Jamal Crawford, I have a bunch of videos with him that I meant to post over the weekend, but my phone crapped out. We did a whole like video series together, basically. It was just so much fun.
So Rain said, my mom and I had never kept up with sports before, but let me tell you, my mom may have been more excited than me. I've never seen her like this. So I think we have a photo of the whole group.
Here, I'll just put it up here. There we go. Oh, we have that photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and then Nick, his wife, and his daughter was there. They weren't in the group photo, but I did get a picture with them.
And then our friends from Seattle Cocktail Club were also there.
Oh, yeah. They were out of control.
Rocking their Carla Marie and Anthony shirts.
I thought they had You Look Great shirts, but they wore Carla Marie and Anthony show shirts. And I was like, guys, what?
But it was really cool seeing all the support and stuff.
Yeah, it was so cool. So
what are you looking for?
I was just, the chat was frozen.
Oh,
Not
okay.
frozen pause, so I wanted to scroll. There was something else about that night I was going to share. Something with
Well, then there
you.
was a VIP lounge afterwards, which was
Oh,
not.
I
I mean,
remember.
it was a VIP lounge, but it was really for players to go and get some of the sponsored stuff. So I got a
And
bottle
dinner.
of Herradura, premium or whatever, platinum, whatever
Oh,
good bottle they have, and then I got a pair of Jordans, which were cool because they were a pair of Jordans I never would have purchased on my own.
where
They
are
were like they're in the closet. You could grab them if you want. I'm just once I sit, I don't get up for a long time.
like a grandparent.
I really am. Nope, down there, to the left, gray box, lowest box right there. Should say Jordan. Yeah. Thank you. So, these are the Jordans they gave me. Here, I'll put it on the table.
Shoes on the table. Let me hold them.
Okay.
God damn it.
So these are the Jordans they gave me, which I never would buy on my own because I don't really buy low top sneakers that often.
That's your size. They look very long.
They're 11s. The low tops always look longer because they don't have like the height. But these are great summer sneakers. Like how phenomenal are these for the summer?
Yeah, they are.
And I only have to wear one. So it's great. Yeah, my sneakers are going to be all uneven by the end of this.
Yes. So Thursday night, that's what I wanted to share.
Okay.
Thursday night, we went to the Champions of Change Gala. It's like an auction. It's how they also raise money for all these amazing charities that are a part of Champions of Change. And we got to see Kwame and Marshall in real life. Well, we had met them before, but Kwame and Marshall were on 2 Second Tunes. We had recorded with them that week, and we knew they were going to be there, and we were hanging out with them. And Chelsea, Kwame's wife, who I had never met before, was also on Love is Blind. That's how they met. And I turned to her, I was like, Chelsea, I'm Carla Marie. We've DM'd. It's so nice to meet you. She goes, Carla Marie, do you have any idea? And I was like, what? She goes, when you started following me, I followed you back. And then I'm looking at your page and I'm like, I know this girl. I know this voice. So weird. Why is her voice so familiar? She's like, and then I finally made the connection. I used to listen to you and Anthony driving to work every day in my hour-long commute. I used to call into your show in Seattle, and I was like, Chelsea, what?
Yeah.
So I'm losing my mind. She's like, yeah, you can tell everyone the girl from Love is Blind used to listen to your show before Love is Blind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. She was like, I can't
She's
believe
very,
it.
very nice.
She was like, and you weren't dating then. So I was very confused when I saw that you were dating now, right? And I was like, right.
Yeah, she knew Dirty Little Secret. She knew everything.
Yeah.
And she said there's a good chance she called in and texted into our show because she used to have a really long drive. So she would listen to a lot of the radio stations here in Seattle, which I never really thought of that because a lot of the people that were born and raised in Seattle on Love is Blind, there's a good chance a lot of them listen to our show. Like Kwame and Marshall didn't because they moved here pretty recently.
Yeah.
And they were in Portland. No, Marshall moved here,
Marshall was in Baltimore and Atlanta,
but then moved to Seattle.
about like right when filming stopped.
Yeah, and then Kwame was in Portland until the show. So there's a good
Until
chance
after
that
the show.
the people who were born and raised here actually know our show and know Dirty Little Secret and all of that stuff.
It's kind of wild.
And we will post that 2 Second Tunes. What?
You think Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe would listen to us?
I think there's a chance they at least scanned and got to us at some point.
Do you think Danny Glover, when he's in town?
I don't know. That was the weirdest thing. So Danny Glover was at the charity banquet that we were a part of and at the game, sitting courtside. Not 100% sure why or what his connection was, but he was there. But I think, a lot of the players, we do know that some of the Seahawks listened on their way in.
We didn't know that.
Some of the Mariners listened on the way in.
No, not Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Danny Glover. Different people.
But it was all in all, it was just a really great event. I'm super fortunate that I was a part of it.
So cool.
Getting to, like I said earlier, see the players kind of just let loose and have a good time and mess around with each other and, just the way your friends group does.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was. It was the friends of those players that put it on, Doug, Cliff, and Michael. They just reached out to the people they know. And it's all Seattle-based people, too. So, like, Isaiah Thomas went to University of Washington. A lot of the other players, Rodney Stuckey, he played at Eastern Washington, I believe, and is from Seattle. A lot of the players had a Seattle connection, which is why they were all on the court. And then the media personalities as well.
My first night, as what everyone kept saying was a WAG, wives and girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. Everyone was like, "Oh, you couldn't have subbed in for Anthony. Did you want to play?" I was like, I am literally sitting on the sidelines drinking wine with my friends. I had your number on my face. I didn't have to work. All my friends were there because it was all put on by everyone I worked with at Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
Both departments. All of social department was there. The entire entertainment team, like my bosses for the entertainment day were there. And I'm like, "Sup, guys?" And like, I truly knew 50 people that were working. And I was like, this is the best day ever.
It was so funny. So when Carla Marie works with the Seahawks, there's the Mads team, right? There's Madeline.
Yep.
Then there's
Maddie.
Maddie.
And there's another Madeline.
And there's another.
Or there's Madison.
Whatever it is. There's three. I'm going to butcher their names. But the one you work with most often knew that I was going to be there. But then the two others do video work for the Seahawks.
And when Anthony did the prank video, that's who they worked with.
So they turned around at one point. They were working, turned around and saw me. They were still almost in shock that I was there. Mm-hmm. I think they were probably also in shock that I was there with my peg leg shooting threes.
Yeah. Because I had said to him, "Anthony's here," and I told him how you got hurt, and they were like, "Producer Tones." And then I don't think they expected to see you out there, so it was cool.
But I also did, the one thing I did with the team, so other than shoot-arounds, was you've never played like a competitive basketball game, right?
When I was 11.
Okay, did you guys do layup lines?
I think so.
So I did layup lines with the team. And I made sure I just did one layup on each side because you switch sides, just so everyone kind of gets in the rhythm. So I did one layup on the right side, one layup on the left side, and then I was done.
Okay. You ran to the court?
I hobbled.
Listen, all I've decided is that, working for the Seahawks is so much fun. And getting to do everything we do is so much fun. Yeah. But if I could just be a wives and girlfriend of an athlete, I'd be much happier. So I'm going to need you to step up your game.
Yeah, I think with my age and my torn Achilles, I don't know if the professional sports route is for me anymore. But speaking of that, I do have an Achilles update. So Thursday, I finally got to see.
I was grocery sticking the topics.
Oh, okay.
To let people know that you were not prepared for this update.
No. So I got to meet the surgeon on Thursday afternoon, right before we went to the Champions of Change gala. And he sat me down, asked me what I knew about Achilles tendon tears, which I felt like I was being quizzed, which I basically just regurgitated everything that I read online. And let me know the specifics of my injury, which were the one thing I did know was that it still is connected, which is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Because when it's completely severed, oftentimes the Achilles will roll up into the back of your leg, like into your calf muscle, and then they have to either go in there and pull it down or like massage it down. So that doesn't need to happen anymore. And then he mentioned that because of the location of my tear, because it's higher in my calf, essentially where my calf muscle and my Achilles meet, not only will it most likely heal because there's a lot of blood there so that it can work on its own. The type of, this is kind of gross, the type of meat that's there, basically, tendon and muscle.
He said it's like paper mache.
It's soft.
Yeah.
So stitching it together oftentimes does nothing.
He said it would be like sewing, he said something
like,
to soft pieces of paper mache.
Yeah, and he could do surgery. He just doesn't know if the sutures, which are like the stitches that he would use, he doesn't know if they would actually do anything in that area. And
he said they may not stay.
Yeah, and which would just it wouldn't cause any harm. I would just have to wait the 10 days to 14 days for my stitches to heal before I can start rehab. Whereas if I didn't do surgery, I can start rehab as early as this week.
Last week, yeah.
And he told me to sleep on it, basically. I reached out to a bunch of people I know in the medical field, in physical therapy. I'm going to have a call today at 11 o'clock our time with a surgeon on the East Coast who my friend recommended to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll get a second opinion, but there's a pretty good chance I'm not going to need surgery. And I'll be able to start rehab and PT this week.
Well, it was crazy because it was kind of like you go to a doctor
Yeah.
for the doctor to tell you what needs to be done, right? They spend all this money to learn all this stuff, and he basically put the ball in Anthony's court and was like, it's up to you. Like, is it, and he kept saying, like, is it worth going through just the overall risks of surgery to get something done that may not work when you could just start rehab? He literally kept saying you could be in rehab tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we were like, I've never seen Anthony so speechless.
Well, I mean, I was expecting for that 2.5 weeks. I just put it in my head. I'm going to have surgery.
I know.
They're going to slice me open, stitch me up, and send me back out. And that's what this guy does. And he was very clear to say, listen, I get paid when I do surgeries. I just don't know if this surgery is going to do anything that's a net positive for you. He also told me that even though, yes, the re-tear rate when you don't have surgery is 20% more, when you don't have surgery, your chances of re-tearing are 20% more than when you do have surgery. But that number, and this is how percentages and statistics and stuff work, that number is really misleading because you have a 1% chance of re-tearing your Achilles when you have surgery and a 5% or 4% chance when you don't. So it's really not a huge difference. It sounds like a big number when they don't tell you your starting point and your ending point, and they say it's a 20% difference.
And I'd be willing to bet that the re-tear rate is higher when you don't do surgeries because those people aren't going through the proper you don't know. Like, okay, and then what percentage of those people actually did every single rehab visit that they're supposed to do? Yeah. Because then that's up to human error at that point when you're dealing with those people.
And the first person I really called and got, I mean, I was on the phone with my friend for about 15 minutes, is my friend Jake, who's a physical therapist in New Jersey. And I just wanted to know what the recovery process was like when people don't have surgery. Because he's seen both, and he's seen, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of both. Mm-hmm. So he basically told me that your chances of bouncing back and recovering and doing all the things you did before you got injured, it has less to do with surgery versus non-surgery and has everything to do with the person's mindset and dedication to rehab. And he said most of the people, especially if they're older, they just don't make the time for all the physical things they have to do with physical therapy. And that's where they end up getting lost and being weaker than when they started. It
was cool.
And just the one thing that the doctor actually told me, I feel like we're talking about Kobe Bryant a lot. He mentioned how Kobe tore his Achilles, Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, all these basketball players, but they get surgery almost immediately. And then they have a whole team that helps them rehab, which is why they're back within a year.
But he started off saying, he's like, and the difference between you and all these professional athletes.
Well, he said the difference between you and Kobe Bryant and Kevin Durant. And I said, yes, I understand. They are taller than me. And other than that, there's nothing.
And this was the moment that I was like, I love this man. I trust everything this doctor says. He goes, but short kings are having a moment right now.
He did say that. But
and mind you, this man was like 6'7".
Yeah, he was a big guy.
So tall.
But his whole point was when you see athletes recover, it's because they have a whole team and they have people that are making sure they don't miss a single PT session or rehab thing. Little does he know that I treat myself like a professional athlete. And I will also not miss a single physical therapy appointment. I will do every single exercise they tell me to do every morning. So I feel pretty good about the recovery. I'll know for sure today, hopefully, or maybe by tomorrow, if I'm definitely going the non-surgical route. And then by tomorrow or Wednesday, I could start physical therapy.
What happens if the surgeon you talk to is like, no, you should do surgery?
That's a great question. Because the surgeon I talked to on Thursday didn't take surgery out of the equation entirely.
And he said early on in his career, if he would have looked at this MRI, he would 100% cut you open and did the surgery.
He said he did it for everybody. Yeah.
Did it for everyone. He's like, but I started learning. And then it was actually really cool what he started talking about. He said how in recent years, we've started to see that rehab could be better if you do it aggressively, right? Old school ways was you'd get surgery, then you'd wait months until you were out of the boot.
Immobile for a month
at
least.
And then you'd start rehab. He's like, no, we rehab people immediately now. And he's like, and this is like super new in the medical world. And he started to also say, he's like, listen, people have been tearing their Achilles since we were cavemen.
Yep.
They heal. They do heal. He's like, for all we know, he could cut you open. There could be scar tissue in there already. And it was just, I don't know, like getting to meet a doctor that's not arrogant and not, I know everything 100 what I say is correct. At first we were like, why isn't he telling us what to do? But it's very refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very refreshing.
And there was, I talked to that surgeon on Thursday. I talked to my friend Jake, who's a physical therapist on Thursday.
Dr. Daddy, give him the real credit of his name.
His name is Jake. Jacob, actually, is how he goes professionally. He's a real professional that doesn't go by Dr. Daddy.
He's the one that told me to call him Dr. Daddy.
At a bar at DJ's in Belmar. You can't take anything you learn at DJ's in Belmar seriously. I don't even trust women's names that I meet at DJ's.
DJ's in Belmar.
Belmar.
There's a W in there somewhere.
That's Belmar.
It's MAWR.
Belmar?
Belmar.
Anyway, then when we were at the Champions of Change charity gala, I saw my friend Mitch, who was there with his friend and coworker Zach. They work at High Def Physical Therapy here in the Seattle area. Same thing. I told them all the specifics, and Zach was originally telling me like the protocol for most Achilles tears. Then when I told him the specifics about mine, he said, "Oh, that changes everything."
Yeah, they both kind of said that.
You know, you probably don't actually need it. Then out of nowhere, because I was walking around with the peg leg, so a lot of people were asking questions. A guy I've never seen before in my life came up and said, "Torn Achilles?" So I said yes. And he told me that he didn't go with surgery, and he's already playing soccer and all the things, and his injury was about a year and a half ago.
Crazy.
So I've gotten a lot of, it's because it's scary when you don't know that people go the non-surgical route for this, and you just assume that everyone gets stitched up. But it was nice hearing from people who had gone the non-surgical route, anecdotes from their lives and how they've been fine and they've recovered fully. So that was basically where it ended.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll find out today. I've got an appointment at 11 o'clock our time, and we'll see what happens.
So Tish said, what makes your tear different? Okay, so the quick story is, this is why I've been like having it in my head just to describe the tendons. I know they said crab meat, but think about boiling a wad of spaghetti and then picking it up, right?
Wad of it.
And you have your spaghetti hanging. Some of the spaghetti pieces are torn, right? The other spaghetti pieces are still connected back here. So they're torn up here. So there's still some connection. But where Anthony's is torn, it's the beginning of the spaghetti that connects to the calf. So it's super thin up there, and it's not like the thick meat part of the middle of the spaghetti. So there's not much for it to connect to. It's like super thin.
Apparently the Achilles is a very solid tendon.
Except where
when it's lower on the Achilles, it's really easy to do the surgery. And the doctor even said normally it's less than an hour. It's orthoscopic. And he goes in there, stitches it together, and you're done. Because of where mine is, he would have to pull more meat together essentially with the tendon.
And he said it would be more invasive.
So it'd be a more invasive surgery. And it's because it's higher, it does have the blood flow that it wouldn't have lower in the leg. Like if you go to your actual Achilles tendon, like right where the bottom of your ankle is, or the top, I guess, whatever, the really thin part behind your leg, there isn't a ton of blood flow there, which is one of the reasons they have to do surgery most of the time, because it doesn't have enough blood to heal on its own.
Is this on?
Yeah, that's on.
Is this thing on?
It is.
All right, so I'll just show you right here. So this right here, this is
I don't know if they can see the cursor unless you have it there. There you go.
Down here is the meaty part of
it's not there either, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so where this screen says soleus muscle, but it's still almost like kind of pointing at the Achilles tendon, that's the beginning of where your Achilles tendon is. And it's
your Achilles is that whole white thing.
I know that.
Okay.
I just said that's where the beginning is.
Okay.
And that yours is torn a little bit further down than that, but it's not the back of the ankle.
Yep.
Like where most people's pop.
Yeah.
I guess would be the best way to describe it. Like is it Saw, or what movie is it when they start cutting the back of people's ankles?
I don't know.
And they can't run?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is good news, I think. You know, we'll see. It's all about the recovery process. Either way, with or without the surgery, it all falls on the rehab process and taking it seriously, taking care of your body while you're at PT and when you're not there. You know, making sure I'm fueling my body properly. I'm giving myself the nutrients I need to heal properly and to build new connections. So it'll be a lot of that. So I should, if I start physical therapy this week, I could be out of the boot in about 2 months.
Crazy.
But it still won't. It'll be 4 to 6 months before I do normal activities, and then I think 9 months to a year to basically get back to like running normally and sprinting and jumping and all of that.
When you start rehab, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the game you want to be in next year is less than a year from rehab.
I'm not worried about that. I'm playing in that game next year.
So help me God, if you play in that game next year and you tear your Achilles, you're gonna live by yourself.
Okay. You make that sound like it's the worst thing in the world.
And Max is not going.
That's fine. That is fine. The camera is just on Carla Marie. Huh? It should be on both of us.
That's not what we see.
Okay. Maybe you're zoomed in or something. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but looks like everyone sees both of us. But that's a good thing because you do need to see the whole screen. I do have a gift. This was hand delivered by Claire in Olympia on Friday.
Yep.
Yes, on Friday.
That's when the game was.
After the Champions of Change game. I have been tempted to open this all weekend, but she said this was from all the EMHs.
Surprised the cats didn't get into it.
I was also concerned about that. I have no idea what's in here, obviously. That's the whole point of unwrapping a gift. All right. Oh. Wow, this is a lot of stuff. Damn.
Oh.
This is a lot of stuff. Sorry, here's some more paper, Carla Marie.
Keep yelling.
Okay. All right. This is a blanket of some sort?
Oh, you need a good blanket.
Ooh, the Napier.
Is this because we were talking about how Anthony needs his own blanket?
The Napier blanket. The pizza peg puzzle. Is this because I'm a peg leg now? Makes sense. Some gummy bears for my post-workout. That's phenomenal.
Favorite.
Green tea, which is my favorite. Do we have two?
You guys knew more about his favorites.
Yeah, I got a whole tea variety pack. Jeez, guys, I did not need this much stuff, but thank you. Ooh, the Gel Beads eye mask. Love it. A pet toy for Max that says happy birthday. Because they know Max is my favorite. Some more cat toys in here.
Oh my God, I love it.
Catnip. Oh
God.
Some bubbly.
They're going to lose their minds.
It's going to be great. Man, I got to move some stuff off the table.
Probably open that.
Hold on. I got to move some stuff off the table because there's so much stuff in this bin. Thank you very much to whoever contributed and thought of this and helped put it all together.
Okay, open that.
What's Moose Munch? That's a good question. Moose Munch is over here. Premium popcorn, the best popcorn on the planet. Milk chocolate popcorn.
Open it up, test it out.
Sure, go for it. Here's the card. Whoa. Oh, a GNC. Jeez, guys.
Oh my God, everyone's name.
An Uber Eats gift card, Amazon gift card, a GNC gift card for $100.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, thank you very much.
My Achilles really hurts.
Let's see. We got Becky, Claire, Kaylee, Vicky V, Bridget, Dave C, Martha, Melissa, Christy C, Kelsey, Lisa, Taryn, Dana, Jen, Dana H, Danny, Erica P, Dave C. I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. I got Dana A. Yeah, and Danny H. Christy P, Felipe, Marta, Julie T, Yvette, and Maria. I think I got everybody on here.
We'll just show it.
So thank you to everybody. What else do we have here? Is that a Pokemon beach towel?
Why would you do that?
It is a Pokemon beach towel with Squirtle. Oh, man, this is awesome. Let's see what else. Notepad, which is actually very useful. Oh, the Champions Comeback. This is the book that I talked about it on the screen on the show, but this is the book my buddy Jake, who we were talking about earlier, mentioned about recovering from injury. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I've been meaning to read this for a long time. Whoa. How many popcorns you been eating there?
There was you get the Pokemon sticker?
Or not? Oh, I missed the sticker.
I saw him. I think he got launched when you took the...
You sure it wasn't? This thing?
Oh, yeah, that is what I saw.
That was just a tag.
Those
Some
look
wafers.
awesome.
Man, the snacks in this are amazing. Kettle corn,
A mask.
good
Sky
mask,
loves a
and
mask.
my favorite chocolates. The fancy ones that I thought were super expensive when I was a kid. Ferrero Rocher. That's probably not how you say it. Ooh. And Super Nintendo, what is this? Wired Wild Berry Sours. I think that's everything.
Oh, number 1 in Italy.
Oh, and then some chocolate. Man, from Uganda. That's cool. Man, thank you very much. I mean, I did not expect... I thought it was just going to be one big thing.
This is really cool.
I did not expect this many gifts. So thank you very, very much. Man, this is like overwhelming.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, I didn't even read what the card said. Okay. We hope your birthday is happy and the year ahead is just as great. Filled with many special reasons for you to celebrate. Enjoy your day. You look great, EMHs.
This was because it was your silver birthday.
What was that, 50?
23 on 23. Like 6/23/23.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is it silver 50, a 50th anniversary or something? Because I am not 50 years old. Man, thank you so, so much. This is going to be great for, obviously, the recovery with the books and everything, but just in general. Man, it's like
Those snacks were great.
overwhelming. This is great. Thank
can
you
pop open the door and I can see if they come in with for their toys.
very, very much. Put those over there. There we go. Love you guys. For real. Thank you. That
That's
was
awesome. You got to post all about that.
I mean, you did not need to do that. It was unnecessary, but it is very much appreciated. Thank you very, very, very much.
That's so cool.
Wow. It's a lot of stuff. I got to find a place for all that stuff.
And you got an e-card online from everyone.
I did. The e-card, I was reading it Friday morning, went through all of that. It
And
was really, really nice.
Well, first he goes, "Oh, look what Jen and Lisa sent me."
Yeah.
And it was just I knew what it was, but it was like the cover of the e-card, and I was like, click on it. And then he's sitting there going through, and he's going, this is a lot of birthdays, or you're like, this is so many
It was a lot of
people.
pages, yeah.
And he's like, this is so many. And he keeps reading it all
And then
day.
the cookies from Jen and Lisa were also fantastic.
Yeah, I've been eating those for 3 days, so
Yeah.
thank you, Jen and Lisa.
We finally just finished them yesterday, actually. Wow, thank you. It has been a great birthday. Between the game, between all the kind messages, and Friday I woke up with just so many kind birthday messages, get well soon messages.
Yeah.
It was all kind of bundled together. And unfortunately, I can't even check Instagram anymore
Your phone is broken.
because for some reason on Saturday night, my phone screen, if you want to grab that right there.
Did you eat popcorn?
Yeah. Is it in my beard? So my phone screen, I don't know if you can really tell,
Wow, that's an Android thing.
shows up there, and that's about it. The rest of it's all dead. So I don't know what happened. I may have just bent it in my pocket or something.
We think you sat on it.
Yeah. So but what I've been able to do is I've been able to back up a couple things from here by guessing where the proper buttons are. Like I have to unlock my phone
I don't know if I could do it.
just by guessing. I don't do it right every time. But I should have backed up a lot of this stuff before. What I was able to do, the biggest thing that I was concerned with was I have like a 2-factor authentication app so that people can't just hack my stuff. But it's phone specific unless you back it up. And I didn't know how I was supposed to log into all of my other accounts if I couldn't get the 2-factor authentication codes from this phone. But I was able to blind type, back it up to my Google account, and then put it on another phone. So I'm saved there. I got all my pictures off of it. I can get all my text messages on my computer, so I'm good. I'll get another phone this week.
What happens if you reach out to T-Mobile
Yeah.
and you're like, hey guys, like my phone's broken, because we're like T-Mobile ambassadors, so that's where we get our phones from. And they're like, sorry, we can only do iPhones now.
Then I would say, see you later. You lost a customer.
No, you wouldn't.
Dorkalorcus.
You're gonna have to get an iPhone.
No.
Oh, my life would be
wouldn't do
so
it.
much better. Like exponentially
But
better.
you know who makes your life harder.
I don't care.
But you know who makes your life harder.
But it's easier for me to convince you to get an iPhone than it is for me to convince
No.
Tim Cook to change
What
everything.
you've convinced yourself is that it's easier for you to get mad at someone who has no bearing on your life and a product that has no bearing on your life, as opposed to getting mad at the company that you've paid thousands and thousands of dollars to over the course of your life.
Thousands.
That's what you've convinced yourself. You've convinced
No, it's
yourself
just easier for me to
that
yell at you.
Android people are the bad people and
Yeah.
Google is bad.
No,
When
you're-
in fact, it is very specifically and admittedly Apple that is the problem. You realize that, right?
Yes.
This is like the core tenets
Yes,
of racism.
but it could be changed if you just get a new phone.
No, absolutely not.
Megan said, is Sone's the only one in the content crew without an iPhone?
Yes.
Yep, ruins every chat.
But what I do love is when we hang out, there's a certain group of friends that we can hang out with here in Seattle, where Carla Marie becomes the only iPhone person.
Says a lot about my judge of character.
And the group is actually getting bigger and bigger. It's incredible. So Hannah, Nick, Amy, Jeff, James.
James has an iPhone.
No, I don't think he does.
James has an iPhone.
I don't think he does. Either way, a lot of Android people that are making Carla Marie feel like the green bubble, blue bubble loser.
Let's see. Team iPhone.
A lot of people with Team Pixel. Nara, there we go. Another Seattle friend. But that's the craziest part is Apple has even admitted it is their fault
I know
that we are green bubbles.
But you're like annoying.
And Apple has admitted that they could upgrade. It's not even changing. It is upgrading to a better messaging service, and they won't do it because they want kids specifically to feel left out so that they don't
Sounds
get
like
Android
great marketing
phones.
to me.
It sounds like they are grooming children.
Oh my God.
Apple the groomers. They're supposed to be apple pickers, not apple groomers.
Well, I'm sure they have one of those trucks. Aren't they called the grooming trucks that shake the apples out of the tree?
Is that what they're called?
I think so.
I don't know. Yeah, see, and that's my brother who's also an Android person, but Jolly Russian Buddhist. Carla Marie, Apple is the enemy. They're the ones making the situation worse for you.
Even if you had an iPhone, even if Apple did everything, I still don't think I could AirDrop to you.
I don't know. I've never had to do that because we can just
That would be
email people.
This relationship.
Why would you need to AirDrop me anything?
If you could just AirDrop me photos, it would make my life so much easier because I got to be in a Google Drive every time I'm with you and Hannah. I got to have a Google Drive of photos. You got to email. I'm like, just give me my photos.
We do have Nearby Share, which is the same thing.
God damn.
But again, Apple is making your life harder by compressing photos that Android people send to you. Remember that. And Apple is making that a thing. Android would not. If we all just used RCS messaging, you'd get high quality photos, high quality videos, read receipts, all the things you want.
It's called read.
I read.
You read it. That's why.
But if I read it, there's a receipt that I did read it. Anyway.
Also, I have those off. Those are so stupid. I don't need people seeing that I read their shit. How else am I going to ignore them for 5 days?
I think I have them on. I'm not 100% sure.
Because I'll read something, mark it unread, and be like, I'm going to go back to this later. They don't need to know that I said I got to go back to them later.
Yes, exactly. Apple actively makes using Apple worse because they know Apple users will blame Android. It
sounds like a genius company.
No,
How
it
do
sounds
we make
no.
people that don't watch the show feel like idiots?
It sounds like an evil company with silly people who use their products.
Like the evil poisonous apple?
Yes.
Like Snow White.
Exactly. Did you see Apple is trying to, you know how they have a trademark of the apple with the bite? They're now trying to trademark all monotone images of apples. So if you have an apple that is one color, Apple owns it.
Like in my house?
No, and no other company can use an apple as a logo, essentially.
What companies do?
I don't know. They're just trying to make sure no one can because Apple is evil. It's like when they tried to trademark the shape of their phones, which was just a rounded rectangle, which is a shape that's existed before.
Mm-hmm.
Silly ass Apple. Tricks are for kids.
Milwaukee Tom said, I never tore my Achilles with an iPhone.
That's true. That is true. I bet you Kevin Durant has an iPhone, though, and he tore his Achilles.
Could you imagine there was like this study done that only people that had Android?
They're slightly heavier or something. Man. Yeah, birthday weekend. It was pretty great.
It was cool.
Other than losing my phone, which even then, after a couple hours of working on some things and getting things working, it's fine. Thankfully, we have this deal with T-Mobile, and with our deal with T-Mobile, we're supposed to upgrade our phones every year, and I haven't asked for my new phone yet, so it's just within our contract agreements. I'll get a new phone, hopefully by the end of the week. I'll be done. I have Discord on my old phone. The weird thing is I have this old Pixel phone that was a Verizon phone. So I can't just take my SIM card out because Verizon has different SIM cards. But I can't install an Instagram on it. And I think it's because the phone is so old and doesn't have the proper Android updates. But my life is fine.
That's crazy. Well,
I think I can do without Instagram.
I have
for
some
3 or
old
4 days.
iPhones you can use.
No, I'm okay.
Will that SIM card work in my iPhones?
If they were T-Mobile, or if they were non-Verizon,
They're T-Mobile.
yeah, I won't use it.
Just shits and giggles.
I would rather use your iPad.
But you can't put your SIM card in my
No, but I would rather use your iPad for all those things around the house because I do think the iPad is a superior tablet. But I don't want to use an iPhone. I'd rather not use a phone than get used to the different things on an iPhone right now.
Can you just for the day?
No.
Okay, I'm going to go get it.
No, and I used an iPhone very briefly when we were working with that company where we were doing some stuff for Facebook. Because when we had to beta test things, it was on the iPhone. Didn't like it. Just wasn't a fan. That was the iPhone XR or something, right?
It was like a children's iPhone.
No. Exactly. They make iPhones for children because they're groomers. Think about it. Makes sense. Let's see. Scotty said, Tones, get the Samsung 23S. It's the best. I think I'll go back with the Pixel. I love the Pixel design. The only problem I have with the Samsungs, because they are great phones, I've had them for so long, is they usually come with a lot of like bloatware. They've come with other things on them. What?
I just got a neighborhood watch update.
Okay.
From Olivia. I think the crows are plotting their next move. They're going crazy at the tall back tree. They've all gathered there, and then a photo of the tree.
So now your neighborhood watch is just birders.
Oh, we're 100% birders.
Okay.
Because Olivia woke up yesterday to 4 crows staring into her bedroom window.
Let's see. Jolly Russian Buddha said, I'm a big Samsung guy. Also, I hate the bloatware. Yeah, the bloatware is the annoying part.
Yeah,
which you don't get on Pixel phones. Bloatware. Do you know what bloatware is?
It's like all the extra stuff they had.
Yeah. Like sometimes when I know on one of my first Samsung phones, like I couldn't get rid of the Kindle app.
Like when they
give
built
into my phone.
GarageBand.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
delete it.
So bloatware is normally third-party apps that are installed on your phone. Like there was, I think the Motorola.
Third party. For me, it's all Apple.
Exactly.
Apps.
So I don't know if that counts as bloatware. I think that's just part of the Apple system, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but we can delete it all now.
Sorry. Yeah, Pixel for Life says Dave C84. I don't think the Pixel Fold is out yet, and I do want to get one of those guys. The little folding phone.
I'd be happy if we all went back to Blackberries.
I never had a BlackBerry.
Use Instagram on my phone. I don't know what I would use Instagram on, but
I never had a BlackBerry.
Really?
BBM? Never had it. Never had it. I went from the LG chocolate. Then I briefly had a Windows phone, which was not a great device.
BBM.
It was like the first iteration of Windows Phone, if you know of that phone line. Then I got the Motorola Droid, and that changed my life because I had the slide-out keyboard that you could do horizontally. The Motorola Droid, if they made that again in that form where you slide out the keyboard and you have a whole thing, yeah. I would get that in a second. I never had the Razr either.
You didn't have a Razr?
No, but the new Razr looks really cool. Have you seen it?
No.
So it's the same thin folding phone, but the entire screen, when you close it, the entire top part is a touch screen.
I do remember seeing that.
Theoretically, you can use it to respond to text messages, answer phone calls, so you don't even have to open up the full phone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Steph in Vermont said, what was the name of the entire U2 album you couldn't delete?
YouTube.
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 I say YouTube.
No, I said it by mistake.
I don't know. It was awful, and Apple got sued for that.
With iPhone.
Songs of Innocence. It just said on the side, I thought. It's
Surrender. 40 songs, one story.
40.
Oh wait, no, that was
Songs of Innocence.
No. Where is it? Where do you see Songs of Innocence?
The 2014 album,
Oh,
Songs
okay.
of Innocence.
There it is. The thing that I said, Surrender, 40 songs, one story, that's Bono's memoir, apparently.
He wasn't nice when I met him.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And listen, good for you too, because they got paid for those albums by Apple. So immediately they were like a platinum selling album.
Didn't something come out where U2 was like, yeah, people don't like us because of the Apple thing?
Yeah.
They're like, we actually like, not that they lost fans, they just gained a whole list of haters.
Because it is an invasion of privacy. To a degree. And maybe not an invasion of privacy because they're not taking your information. It's just an invasion of your digital space. Mm-hmm. I did not ask you to put your stupid ass album on my phone. Like, who do you think? Why do you assume that I like your music? U2 is not good.
No.
I'll say it.
No.
I don't know.
They're just whiny.
Let's see. Lisa said I deleted it. And if you're a U2 fan, by all means, enjoy the music. I never liked U2.
I will say one nice thing about Google before we go.
Okay.
I use Google Photos to back up all of my photos. I don't like the iPhone storage. Mm-hmm. Like the iPhone on your phone is fine, but the backup like app and stuff that you can access, I don't love. And with certain Google accounts, you can get unlimited storage forever for free. Well,
yeah,
for free because I have a paid Gmail because I use it for work.
Yeah.
So I can, for the rest of my life, save photos. And I do love the search function in there way better than the Apple one. Because, yes, Apple tags your face and you can easily find people. But the Google one is more seamless. And I back up all my photos there and I delete them from my iPhone. And then I have space on my iPhone. There's
this thing I saw yesterday when I was when I turned on my old phone again and I had to download a couple things called Google Frames, maybe.
Oh.
And I guess it's a standalone app that you use for photo organization. But what it does is it basically it runs an AI scanner essentially every evening, and it will then put your photos in folders based on where they were taken and the people that were in them.
I mean,
it makes it easier. It's basically a smaller version of the Google Photos app that makes it easier to scan and find photos.
Mine, I guess it's not necessarily that, but I have kind of like you do with an iPhone, but it's 6 years since, and we had puppies in the studio.
Oh, like the time hop type thing?
Yeah, kind of like that. And then it'll put people together. Like it just randomly decided to do a photo album of me, Gabriella Marie, and Alyssa Marie. Then Bust a Move, and it's just going to be me at concerts probably.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you think Time Hop gets mad that everyone just stole their idea? Does anyone still use the Time Hop
8 years,
app?
Anthony and Scotty B's daughter, Cooper. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. No, that's Cooper?
Yes.
Or is that Ashley?
That's Cooper.
That's crazy.
I got to send that to Scotty. I was texting him this morning because he told me this a while ago, and I had been meaning to text him about it, so I'm glad he did. But his daughter, Ashley, is going on this trip around America.
Oh, wow.
And they're doing Whistler and Seattle and everything. So she's going to be out here in
That's
2
awesome.
weeks. So we're going to try to see her.
Who's she with?
It's like an organization. I was like, do I have to sign her out?
That's crazy.
He's like, no, I don't think you'll actually be able to, you'll just be able to go meet her at the hotel or something.
That's cool.
I asked him if it was Rumspringa.
They're not Amish. Wendy, you did miss the gift opening, unfortunately. But I think you were part of it. Thank you the card's over there. The gift was incredible. All the gifts, I should say, because it wasn't just one gift. Mergen still uses the Time Hop app.
A lot of people in my family, our friend Colleen still uses Time Hop.
So Time Hop, you would still need to sync with your Instagram or Facebook, right?
Yeah, and Twitter.
Oh, does Twitter too? I don't think I need to see the things I tweet. I usually delete tweets after a month.
Okay.
Because tweets are so in the moment that I look back at my timeline sometimes and it's like, I don't need to care about that thing I tweeted about when I was watching the Yankees game. Just gonna delete that.
Why was I ranting?
Yeah.
Because why else do you use Twitter?
All right. It is time for us to get out of here, Carla Marie.
Peace out, Cub Scouts. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We will see you tomorrow. And there is a brand new episode of the Morning Show podcast. Go listen to that wherever you get your podcasts.